What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It's your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first-round pick with the Kansas City Royals. Giving you this knowledge that I can in the youth baseball space, bringing on hot coaches around from the country, man. Helping all the kids, man. Recruiting needs, holler at me if you need me. Man, speaking of recruiting, speaking of college coaches, man, and all of that, man, I got David Garcia, man, Southwest Illinois Junior College head coach joining me, man. And, Coach, man, what's going on, man?
Not much. Raining out here. It's pouring. It's pouring in St. Louis, but it's good. It's good. I appreciate you having me.
So, like I said, it's crazy how this world works with baseball, and come to find out, we just talked about it maybe 2 minutes ago, but one of my former teammates, I guess, guys in the organization with the Royals, I remember as a youngster, man, but he's on the coaching staff. So, again, it's just one of those, I always talk about the coincidence of doing a little bit of marketing or just kind of running into different people. And it's funny, like, who runs into who. Oh, I played against you, or I played with, and Donnie, he's one of those dudes, man. So how's he doing, man? He treating you out over there, man? He ain't going crazy over there?
Uncle Donnie. Yeah, he's doing good. The guys love him. He's from Orlando, but his family, I think, is somewhere near Atlanta. His family moved up there, and he's a coach in every sense of the word. He's just he'll coach anywhere, anytime. The guys love him. So I was really lucky to get him. And when I told him I was coming on with you, he knew he knows everybody.
Yeah.
The baseball world, as you know, is small, and I feel like it gets smaller every day. So he's done a great job. We're really lucky to have him.
All right, man, cool. Well, tell my boy I said what's up, man. But let's get on to you, man. You the head honcho over there, man. Let's get on this, your background, man. You know what I'm saying? So, Coach, man, where you from, man? And talk about, where you from, playing career to coaching career to where you are now as a head guy over there in Southwest.
Well, I started off pretty basic. I played junior college baseball at Parkland in Champaign, and then got a scholarship to go to Northern Illinois University. I played up at NIU for 2 years, and played a little independent ball right after, and then just realized, living on $400 or $500 a month just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I started my coaching career and got into high school administration. I was a varsity high school coach for a few years, and I really wanted to get into college. So my path was a little bit different. I actually went into independent ball. I did independent ball for 5 years, and then had the opportunity to go back to Parkland, where I was the head guy. I was the head guy at Parkland for 5 years, and got we had some really good success there, especially my last 3 years, and got the opportunity to go out to Western Carolina, which is where I met Jalen and a bunch of my other Atlanta guys. It's not too far. Not too far away. I don't miss the Atlanta traffic going down to that airport. But, I was there for a couple of years and decided, I really want to be a head guy again. Drank the Division I dream, and, I liked it, but it wasn't for me, and kind of wanted to go back working for myself a little bit, and had the opportunity to get involved in athletic administration at the college level and be a head guy here. And here I am.
Man, that's I'm speaking of like I said, Jalen, man, congratulations, man, getting, for being the head guy, man, and man, the career so far, man. Sound like a young dude, man, getting it in. So, but speaking of Jalen, all right, he's a great representation, man, of your teachers, man, coming into school, man. I love to kind of get a background of the junior college scene. I'm sure. Obviously, you get, and we're going to talk about the climate now, but in general, man, it like the guys like Jalen, you got, younger kids coming up, what's a typical roster breakdown of a junior colleges?
It varies. The way I look at it is, the junior college route, I think, is becoming more and more popular and more prevalent to kids, just because, especially now because of COVID. The Division I rosters and Division II rosters and NAI and really 4-year rosters in general are just are getting a little backed up, and kids are just looking. I mean, there's different ways. I mean, they're looking for an opportunity to play right away, an opportunity to compete right away, but also they don't want to get in over their heads. I mean, as you know, coming in as a freshman, you can be all world, in high school, and you go into a Division I program, you are competing for your starting spot against 21, 22-year-olds. And then once you get that spot, you are trying to put up stats against 21, 22-year-olds. So it's a little bit different. The route is becoming a little bit more common for people. I think junior college baseball has never been strong. I think college baseball in general has never been stronger. Kids are training year round. There's great Division I programs, Division II. There's great NAI programs. There's great Division III programs, and there's great junior college programs. But baseball in general in this entire country, I don't think has ever been as strong as it is right now. But I would say a typical roster, it all depends on where you're at and where you're at in the program. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, my roster this year is going to be a little bit bigger than it was when I was at Parkland because we're trying to establish an identity. My last few years at Parkland, we had that identity. So we, were a little bit, I wouldn't say more selective, but we kind of had our guys kind of coming through. And this year, taking over, we've got some great players returning, but then I was pretty active in the fall with recruiting. So I would say any junior college roster, I would say would be 35 to 45 in the fall. But I've heard of some junior colleges having even more than that. And the way I look at it, some people try to criticize guys for their roster size. And, how I look at it is we're here to give kids opportunity, not give kids a guarantee, as far as playing time. And we're going to train them. We're going to train them all equally. We're going to give every kid every single opportunity to be the best version of them in practice. Now, will that translate to games? At the beginning of the year, kids who are a little bit more impatient might shy away from those rosters. But at the same time, I think if you look at the rosters of a lot of four-year schools, they're just as big. And, the way I look at it with some of the teams in our region and the teams that we have to get through to get to Grand Junction, if, seeing two or three guys at your position, I would say there's never three, but I like to try to be too deep at every position except catcher. Catcher, I like to take 3 or 4. But I like to have 2 guys at every spot to compete against each other and to push against each other. I don't like having 4 or 5 shortstops. There's no way. But I also don't want to have a travel program where I have 1 shortstop, and if he takes a fastball off the wrist, I can't go the rest of the season without a shortstop. So we try to be too deep at every spot, and if that intimidates a kid, he's probably not going to be the type of guy that's going to be able to be in the trenches and compete against some of the better programs in the Midwest.
And, speaking of better programs in the Midwest, man, I know, some heavy hitters are there, man. And so if you could, man, I'm ashamed to say I didn't even get let's get the location of the school, basically the conference you guys play in. And, and we're going to start from there. And I want to kind of get into the cost and, the recruiting base a little bit more.
Sure. We're 10 minutes from Busch Stadium. We're right by St. Louis. We're on the Illinois side. Okay. But yeah, we're 10 minutes from Busch Stadium.
Wow. Okay.
We're in the GRAC, which is Region 24. It's a Division I junior college, basically in Southern Illinois. There's an 11-team region that we play in, and every team is good. It's a very competitive region. The number 1 team in the country, Wabash Valley's in our region.
Okay, yeah, Wabash, yeah. Highland Hall has been on the show before. So,
okay. They have a great program, a great tradition, and coach does it right over there. But there's other from top to bottom. I don't want to leave anybody out, but there's no easy games in this region. And it's a gauntlet. It's definitely a gauntlet. So you're going to see Power 5 kickbacks every weekend. You're going to see international players. You're going to see Division I signs, Power 5 commits every weekend in this region. So you got to be ready. So it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, man. I've heard. I didn't know if the Wabashes were in the I know probably put 2 and 2 together. And second, I didn't even know you guys are. I thought you guys are literally in Illinois, which I know you are. But technically, you're a suburb of St. Louis. Sounds like, right? Where you guys are located, right?
Yeah, We are. I mean, we're on the Illinois side, but we're not too far from the river.
Right.
So I mean, 10 minutes you're at Busch Stadium. So
That's good.
it's a nice setup. And as far as a recruiting base,
Yeah.
Obviously we are a community college, so we like to try to get the best community players. I do like to recruit locally to get the local support, but at the same time, filling out the roster. I mean, we've gone to Fort Lauderdale. We've got guys coming in from Wilmington, North Carolina. Because baseball, there's good players everywhere, and you got to find the right guys that fit. That mesh with my personality, that mesh with my players' personality, the region in general. It's getting a guy like Jalen. One of the selling points is we're right by the airport. So his family could fly in, and everybody was right here. So that's a selling point for some people. Some people don't like that. Some people don't like to be by the city. And there's a lot of rural schools in this region and great baseball programs that we have to compete against. So, we try to recruit. I would say we try to recruit local first, but we really have the ability to recruit throughout the entire country.
And speaking on that, right? You find a Jalen. Obviously, it's all about connections. You had a a connection with them. But if I'm a normal kid from New Jersey, all right, how am I get on Coach Garcia's? One of the top JCs in the country, and one of the top conferences in the country. How do I get in on his radar? How do I get it to be that type of guy? What do you guys do to get the North Carolina kids, the Fort Lauderdale kids? You know what I'm saying?
What do we do, or what do they do to get in contact?
Yeah, let's just both. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out, how it ain't like you guys have an extremely crazy budget, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So how do you get these kids, coming? Is it just based off relationships, or where are you seeing these guys? Video? How are you seeing these guys from out of state? I'm just anxious to know, because it's not like you guys have an exorbitant amount of, budget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't fly to North Carolina just to watch travel baseball. So you depend on your networking. I mean, like you and I said, the baseball world is a very small world, and you use contacts, you use previous contacts, travel programs, high school programs, video. The video and the access to information on players, from Twitter all the way to the recruiting services that we all use. That's a really good way to identify players right now. Just from a cost standpoint, I think 15, 20 years ago, coaches like myself would go to these travel programs and they'd sit there for 8 hours, hopefully to find one or two players. And a lot of times you'd find those players and you found out they're already committed. To me now, it's a lot easier to identify players on the internet, follow up with my contacts, follow up with people that I might know. But really, I'm starting to get to that point in my career where a lot of ex-players and contacts are reaching out to me with guys that they have. And, it's just the networking of baseball. But we still do the grunt work. I mean, we'll go out. I mean, we were supposed to be at a high school game this afternoon that got rained out. We will go. I mean, we won't stop turning over rocks looking for good players. But I would say, from a player standpoint, the best way of getting noticed, obviously, is, to network themselves. Every single program is looking for something different. Some programs are very successful working on the measurables. Some try to recruit heavily out of elite travel programs, elite high school programs. You got to find out where you are. And also, I would always encourage kids to do their homework, do their research on the coach, the players that are there, the environment, so on and so forth, because I think a lot of times kids are really quick to commit because they get nervous and they feel like they're behind, they're behind the 8 ball. And, at no point, some of the best players I've ever gotten in my career, I've gotten in the summer after their senior year. There's a place for you to go. And I feel like sometimes they feel the pressure to commit because of social media and because there's so many kids that are committing. I was at an event 2 years ago and I was looking at a kid who was just out of 8th grade and he committed to a Power 5 school. And that just blows my mind. But hey, to each his own, to each his own. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. So.
Yeah, I hear it too. And then less than a year later, the dad, when all the attention starts really coming, And then the dad is like, coach, I think I made a bad mistake. How do I get out of this? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, this is crazy, man. But that's great information, coach. So when on a roster size, I know two at each position, man, but I know, have you seen your roster increase because of the COVID?
Oh yeah. Everybody's has, and it's life in the COVID. We're all trying to make the best of it, and it's not ideal. And what's the alternative? That's my question. It's like, what's the alternative? You're trying to give these kids opportunities, and 9 guys can play, but as you know, if you're a pitcher, there's always room for pitching. I also think in junior college, early on, there's so many opportunities for guys to throw short stints. The JUCO level, a lot of programs I see is that they really do build guys up throughout the year because they're coming here to help us win, but more importantly, they're here as a stepping stone, a launching pad. Right. I love that Dallas Braden said that one time. Junior college is a launching pad, so we're not going to stretch a kid out 7-8 innings in February to try to get a win and jeopardize his career. It's all building up. So, you need more guys for that to keep guys healthy and to keep guys sharp.
I think, the stigma, and let me shout out Sharice was, Jalen's mom said, hello, coach, and D. All right. So,
I love Sharice.
Yeah, good people, man. Good people, man. So I told you he was coming on, man, yesterday. But a lot of people kind of, downplay this, JUCO like it's like last resort type of thing, man. And I was listening to Jalen talk about when he stepped in to, over to your program, and he was like, it kind of felt like he was like, it was like do or die time, like more like his, here he comes from a D1 program down to, junior college, like, like basically I got to get on this field any way possible and stay on there almost like almost, I hate to say this, but like a last chance you. But then you got parents and kids, you know what I'm saying, that poo-poo junior college like it's the last resort, for them from their college choice and all that until I think they go with the wrong idea when they think of junior college.
Right. The perception of junior college has changed in so many ways, but in other ways has kind of got a negative stigma. The academics they get at junior college is very strong, and this is not a last chance you type situation. It's a launching pad, and the guys that go to junior college and take care of business and do what they're supposed to do reap the benefits. And I think all you need to do is look at a lot of SEC rosters and you'll see a lot of them are junior college kids. The junior college events in the fall, when those kids are committing so early when they're sophomores and juniors and they don't pan out, and they get replaced with junior college guys. And the way I look at it, you've got to put kids in a position to perform at the best level they can at the junior college level, but you got to prepare them for what they're going to get at the Division I level. The competition that you see at junior college, I think in a lot of regions is very, very, very good. But like I said before, a very, very, very good 19 or 20-year-old compared to a very, very good 22-year-old, a little bit more seasoned vet is different. I need to prepare them. And, the difference between the junior college game and the Division I game, I feel like the junior college game is a little bit more player-led. And maybe the 4-year school, it's a little bit more coach-led. And I'm not speaking, it's not like that all the time, but I feel that we really try to showcase our guys. We try to develop our guys as best as we can to get to those programs because that's where they want to go. There's systems in place with Division I programs that, you've got to conform and you got to have those kids ready to understand that, they've got to be ready to play a game that it might not be what they're used to the first 2 years. Because you always hear that guys are like, I love JUCO. It's like, well, it's a process. It's a process. And this is the first part of your college career. Now be as successful at the second part.
It's funny, like I sense when listening to you talk and different guys that, like you said, they're stacked with, SEC guys stacked with JCs. I see a lot of pro guys, you know what I'm saying, that I've talked on the show. That's why I respect the JC I was one of those typical guys, like almost the last resort type, junior college, until I seen the amount of talented guys that I know personally who made major league rosters started at JC. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, all the coaches that came on the show, all the players that, came on and friends of mine, all started from the junior college level. And I was like, damn, it got to be something to the JUCO thing. And then I started hearing about the different levels and stuff, but which made me, from this show, it made me respect the JUCO, game, from day one. I always get praised for the show for, bigging up HBCUs and bigging up junior colleges. You know what I'm saying? Like I do that because I see, like, even if I had a kid now, I'd be like, yo, like, JUCO. You know what I'm saying? You're giving yourself 4 opportunities to get drafted. You're getting high level, talent, playing against, and but it's still that stigma. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be changed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There is that stigma, and I think that if people came out and watched the junior college game, they'd realize how good the talent is. The way I look at it too is once they get to a certain level, they got to understand that there's always that next level and try to keep them hungry. That's what I always like about the junior college guys. At a 4-year program, I feel that they're hungry, but they're hungry for different things. And I remember, I'm just speaking from me as a player. When I played a 4-year school, you kind of come through and you get those freshmen that, wide-eyed, come in. They were all this and all this out of high school, and then all of a sudden they're humbled a little bit. And then are they strong enough to perform? Maybe they redshirt, whatever. Sophomore year, you're kind of dealing with the repercussions of that. They didn't play for a year, so where are they at? You got the juniors who have been in the program for 2 years. Maybe they're just starting to get back into rhythm because they play a little bit as a sophomore, but then they got their draft year. And then honestly, you got your seniors and your 5th-year seniors that are playing for senior signs. But then you also got some guys that have realized that pro ball isn't going to happen, and they're already looking at internships and they're looking at job offers, and their priorities I wouldn't say are in the wrong spot. They're just different. A good junior college, you got every guy is just hungry for the next level. And that's what I like about it. They're just a pack of wild dogs, like when you come in, and that's what I love about it. They're just – junior college is just such a fun atmosphere to be around. And, we try to, sometimes I feel like social media can put it as like it's a bad love. It's so entertaining, and these guys are so hungry. That's what I love about it. If you're complacent at junior college, you don't belong in college baseball because
where is it to go from junior? Where is it to go? If you're complacent and halfway not want to be there, you're out the door. And then what else? Where else do you go from there? Right?
Yep. And to speak on Jalen, Jalen's a perfect opportunity or a perfect example. Jalen had success at the Division I level and had a lot of games under his belt. He could have taken this opportunity and been like, well, I'm just going to go, put up great numbers at the junior college level, and I'll just, do whatever because it's beneath me. He got here and he's like, I can't believe the level here. And he worked his butt off. He worked his tail off, and he elevated his game because I think some guys almost kind of feel like, going down to like play freshman ball, in high school, it's like, well, I'll just dominate. I'll just get – no, it's you get challenged and you get pushed by the depth at your position because we have more scholarships, than Division I or Division II schools. So there's more quality, there could be more scholarship depth, whether that's better or not, depends on the program. But at the same time, some of these 4 years, the kids that transfer are looking for a restart. And when they come and they make the best out of it and they shoot out to, a better situation, nobody's happier than us, as coaches. That's what we're here for. But, we've had, when I was at Parkland, every guy that we ever had that came to us that ended up getting drafted out of junior college came out of high school, and they developed for 2 years. I don't think we ever had a guy get drafted that was a transfer, and we would get a lot of transfers, but the guys that we had drafted were developed by us.
Wow.
And I don't like to put the ownership on me. I didn't do it. I gave them the opportunity, and they took advantage of it. So all credit goes to them.
Man, speaking of the scholarships, can you talk the difference of how certain junior colleges have none, certain have a whole lot? You know what I'm saying? So can you talk about that?
Yeah. So Division I junior colleges, can offer housing, and you're allowed in a normal non-COVID year, you're allowed 24. Division II junior college, you still have your 24, but no housing. And your Division III, is no tuition, I believe. But I've seen some very good Division III junior colleges that I think would surprise everybody. So, and it all comes down to the players that buy into the culture and really the coach that develops. And, from a financial standpoint, I know us personally at SWIC, we're extremely affordable.
What are the costs, Coach?
I believe anybody outside the state of Illinois, anybody from outside the state of Illinois, I believe it's $117 a credit hour. So, I mean, you add that up over, a course of, 63 hours over 2 years to get your associates. I mean, you're about $7,500 to get your associate's degree in tuition. Extremely affordable. And, you get those 2 years out, you get 200 at-bats in, 250 at-bats in. You can't replace that being, sitting the bench and trying to develop a practice at a 4-year. At least I don't think.
No. So, and then and the housing. So how are the facilities, man? How's the housing situation? The facilities over there, at Southwest. How are they?
I think they're great. This past year, we actually were able to play at a minor league ballpark, GCS ballpark in Sauget. It's a Frontier League stadium. But we're actually redoing our on-campus field, putting a new surface on it, and just trying to do some upgrades here. I like to be on campus if at all possible. It was beautiful having what we had this year, but I like, I'm a hack attack guy. I like all my machines. I like all my equipment in one spot because, like I said, I like to get our work in, and I don't like transporting back and forth. So
now, speaking of the machines and stuff, I mean, I'm sure not every JUCO has all the gadgets now and all the analytics and stuff like that. Are you guys one of those programs that have potentially maybe hit tracks or Rapsodos, anything like that?
Yeah, we've got Rapsodo. We've got the hitting and pitching Rapsodo. We use that just from a data standpoint. It's easy for us to be like, okay, I think this guy has a good curveball. Well, here's his numbers. You know what I mean? Here's the spin efficiency and so on and so forth. Right. Because a lot of times the subjectivity, and especially it's been so valuable this year because these recruiting coordinators at the 4-year schools haven't been able to get out, like in previous years. So me saying they got a good curveball, if they don't know me, they could be like, well, what's a good curveball to him? Well, here are the numbers. Right. We don't have hit tracks or anything like that. Maybe someday. I think it's good just simply because pitching has evolved so much in the game of baseball. And honestly, I think it's because of guys seeing numbers and seeing goals and trying to meet those goals. And hitting is starting to catch up to that. And whether you're a launch angle guy, not a launch angle, I'm not into that. I mean, I like, I'm not going to get involved in that debate. But the Rapsodo can be used for data, but it can also be used to guys. Well, you feel like you hit that ball well. Well, this is actually, did you hit it ball? You know what I mean? Especially being in the Midwest. I mean, it can be cold up here, so we go inside. If I was down south, I'd probably never consider getting any sort of hitting gadgets because you just grip and rip on the field and just kind of talk guys through video. But they're valuable. I would never disagree that those tools aren't extremely valuable. But we've been very fortunate with some donors that came through and gave us all that stuff.
Cool, man. Yeah, they I know a lot of schools have them now, but a lot of schools don't. They've been, I don't know if it's JUCO, but is it just norm now that most of the JUCOs now are using, or
Rapsodo is actually in St. Louis. It's right across the river.
Okay.
I don't, as far as you see it a lot on Twitter. Mm-hmm. You see these guys posting their numbers and their data. And just like I said, if in today's world, it's all about, communication. It's all about, the information can be out there so easily with one push of the button on Twitter. It makes it real easy to get guys' names out there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm getting there when it comes to really, learning it, and had to get Rapsodo certified myself. But on the flip side, also on the set, definitely for the pitching side, understanding the spin rate and all of that. So when I'm trying to talk to you guys, the college coaches, like, hey, man, these guys' curveballs like this, and the spin rate is this, and tilt, and all of this. And I'm like, well, I feel like a scientist always trying to explain. I'll be like, hey, damn it, the kid just got a really good curveball. Damn, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But it's just crazy how that goes, man. But so what's seeing that you have been able to go out somewhat. What's a typical schedule like for you guys this summer as far as on a recruiting trail?
Honestly, this summer we recruited so hard for this year because I was losing so many guys. Mm-hmm. This year we're just going to start identifying guys to start following because I don't like to get ahead of myself. I mean, if I've got 2 freshman shortstops coming in, so I don't need to go out there and tempt myself by looking at 2022 shortstops because I don't want to recruit over a guy that I haven't even seen in my uniform on my field yet. I'm recruiting him, but I would be the first to tell you, and I think anybody would argue with me. I don't know if anybody would argue. Recruiting is a guessing game. You make your best educated guess. There's no science to it. You get the best players that you can, and I feel like we've got a really good foundation coming in with the 2021 class that we're going to see those through. So the question would probably be for the last summer. Last summer I spent a lot of time on the internet. I spent a lot of time making phone calls to my contacts with travel organizations and high school coaches and previous players. And, that's the nice thing about the junior. I always feel like, with junior college, and not to say it's not like this at 4-year, but when kids prosper through going the JUCO route, they want to help kids out. So honestly, I always felt my best recruit. I've never had a recruiting coordinator as powerful as my former players. I've had good recruiting coordinators, but we're only as good as the product that we put out there and the relationships that we keep, with those guys and how we treat them, because, you don't get spoiled at JUCO. I mean, I feel like we do a good job of giving them, what they need, but, they're not spoiled with, heavy, sponsorships or anything like that. So we give them everything they need and some of what they want. And, they get really grateful over that. And I feel like as they move on and they go on to bigger schools, they want to try to help other people kind of see that route, the positives for it.
Man, that's big right there, man. So speaking of, you guys come being your best marketers, man. So what's the style of play? Like what's, if I'm going to understand and I'm just checking out, Southwest, Illinois, kids and the style of play, what am I going to see?
It all depends on the day. I mean, I will train guys constantly to leverage the baseball in the air as much as we can, but we've got to do a better job of being more competitive with 2 strikes. I feel that one of the things that I really try to preach is staying through the middle of the field. I'm not like a push backside, but I'm not a lift and pull guy either. So I try not to recruit that. I try to develop guys to be aggressive and really as their hitting coach, I'm kind of their hype man, but I'm also kind of the guy that tries to teach them more approach. I'm not a swing coach. I never want to be a swing coach. The guys who can do that, all power to you. That's not me. One of my favorite players of all time, I know it's a bad example showing my age, Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra had kind of an ugly swing, but the guy could hit,
right.
And there's a difference between being able to swing and being able to hit. So, I mean, what we teach, we try to leverage the baseball, but I know it's very old school. We'll bunt if we need to. We don't always do it, but we'll do it.
What's that word? What is that word? I never heard of that word.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I heard that word, man. Yeah.
I know they help you win, but some people argue that and say help you lose. And the way I look at it, every game and every player has a heartbeat, and you've got to kind of read that heartbeat and read the situation. And Jalen had 2 walk-off home runs this year in region play. One was right down the right field line, and one was right down the left field line. And what I love about it is I've watched those videos. His swing is exactly the same. The pitch is different, but his swing, he kept his hands in because we try to stay through the middle. And we stay through the middle, and if you never hit a ball through the middle, I don't care. But you're going to stay through the middle and use both sides of the field.
Being a hitting guy, what's your take on what you see in the major leagues right now, man?
I don't know. I mean, here's how I look at it. I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to say the hitters are just trying for home runs and, it's horrible. Well, my question is, well, why are they doing that? Pitching has gotten so good. And the way I look at it, the days of, the Pirates of, the early 90s of Andy Van Slyke and those guys, You could get a double and two or three singles to score 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hard on these pitchers, what they're throwing, and now they're throwing more breaking balls than they're throwing fastballs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I'm facing Ohtani from the Angels, I got a better chance at lifting one ball, one juice baseball up in the air to carry out to get me that 1 run than I probably have to hit 3 singles. So I see where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, I understand it's watching strikeouts is not fun unless you're kind of a baseball purist and you see what this guy has and what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching Arnold Palmer or watching a great golfer kind of, work his way through a course. I don't know. There's a lot of other issues with baseball that I think some of the new rules and the 7-inning games and stuff like that. I think they got to look at just expanding the rosters and bringing more pitchers up. Having a courtesy runner in Major League Baseball,
Right.
I don't get it. But the way I look at it, I don't know how they're going to counter it, and that's why I'm at the junior college level. I'm not going to speak on it. But if they want more offense, I don't know what they're going to do. But you can't slow down. The pitchers have evolved insanely over the last 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
They're throwing harder. They're throwing nastier pitches, and they're throwing so many breaking balls. Now all of a sudden, 98 looks like 105. So I'm just glad I'm not trying to hit it.
Yeah, that's why I asked, some of the hitting coaches. I mean, so somebody like you, like you have potential draft pick in Jalen, you know what I'm saying? And, come through how do you, obviously you've told, what I'm saying, obviously he has a skill set, but, you refine some of that skill set, to have a great year this past year. Now, but, I'm just saying, let's just say in the next year or two, has the potential to go into the draft. And it just to know that put that ball in play style is not necessarily what they're teaching up there.
Right.
It's just sometimes to me it's like it's discrediting the good hitting instructors down here. You know what I'm saying on a ground level. And I don't know. I just think I obviously the pitching is good, no doubt about it. But I think we're also exposing some of the teachings that's going on.
Oh yeah.
On the lower levels.
I don't know how to teach some of the swings that some of these guys are teaching, and maybe I'm not good enough. I don't know. So I'm not saying, like I said, Godspeed. I can't do it. Maybe I'm not good enough. I don't know, but I won't try because I feel like every hitter, you have to be. If I have 15 hitters, I've got to be 15 different hitting coaches. Mentally and physically, because a big lefty is going to get pitched differently than a guy like Jalen. And what we talked about, I think Jalen has an opportunity. I feel like Jalen hasn't even come close to his potential yet. And I feel like being in the draft league this year, I know he's playing for Coco Crisp, but I feel like he's going to learn so much from being around other elite players that are going to push him and really just try to change, not how I swing, not how hard I swing, but what I swing at. And be a little bit more selective and learn more of the mental approach. And I feel like he made huge strides at that this year, but I don't feel like he's anywhere close to it. So from a mental standpoint, guys can swing up, they can swing down, they can say they're swinging up when they're swinging down, or swing down when they say they're swinging up, and it's the real versus feel. And it's like, just where does the ball go? Like, did you hit the ball? Did you backspin it? I don't care how you got there. Just show me the end result.
I love what you said earlier, man, and I don't want you to think like it. I just kind of glossed over me being a hitting guy myself, man. Like you said, I ain't a swing coach. He's like, yo, I'm an approach guy. That's old school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's somebody that's been around because that's how I go about it. You know what I'm saying? To me, if you have a good approach to hitting, you can hit any pitch. You know what I'm saying? And I tell most young hitters, I'm like, all you want to do is give yourself an opportunity to have, a competitive swing. You know what I'm saying? On each pitch. You know what I'm saying? Where you get these guys that want to, talk, different crazy, and swing and all these, analytics that go behind it. To me, it's like get in a good hitting position to give yourself the best chance to hit. You know what I'm saying? Like simple as can be, which is not simple, but teaching it, and kind of explaining it is, instead of talking all these different, hands and this and that. Right. But I like what you said on that, man.
I mean, I tell my guys, stay athletic, be smart, and get your swing off, because I feel like so many times kids are, and that's the other thing too is, Major League Baseball has gotten so strikeout heavy, we can't eliminate the idea of a strikeout at the younger ages. I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of the game, but you want to try to limit it. And what I mean by that is I feel like sometimes coaches preach anti-strikeout so much, the kid never has a chance to hit the ball hard because he's got the same swing and the same lower half as a coach hitting a fungo, just out over his front leg and just flipping it, basically saying, okay, I want to put the ball in play. With 2 strikes, I'm okay with that. But early on, we're going to try to drive the baseball. With 2 strikes, now we're a little bit more defensive. But I feel like at the younger ages, if you tell them you can't strike out, when I've heard people do that, those kids end up striking out more and their batting average go down because they swing at everything to try to just put a ground ball at shortstop.
Yeah. And
they'll go 0 for 4 with 4 ground outs and be like, well, I didn't strike out. Well, are we playing the game the right way? And with 2 strikes, that's one thing. But I always tell guys that you've got to change your approach sometimes from pitch to pitch, from at bat to at bat, from a situation. Your approach should be a little bit different. If you show up and there's a guy on first and he steals second, all of a sudden my approach is a little bit different. And the guys who just try to replicate the swing and the swing and the swing and the swing, that's great on Twitter. That's great on Front Toss. You can have a great exit velocity and can't hit. I can drive a golf ball 350 yards. I can't golf.
I love that, right? Because everybody, the measurables there, but it's like, yo, can you flat out hit? And I like when you said, like, I think that's the problem now is like, do you want to swing your A swing every time? Yes, but you and I both know that A swing is like everything got to be working correctly. You timing everything, whatever. Sometimes you just got to defend and just put, your A swing that day may only be 70, 80%, you know what I'm saying, of what you got. You know what I'm saying? You just got to battle. You know what I'm saying?
That's hitting. Ain't swinging, that's hitting. And sometimes having an ugly swing, I'm a catcher, and you can block the ball ugly and have a great block. And to me, I'm not going to teach I'm not going to teach every pitcher to throw a fastball here. I mean, some guys are going to be out here, and so I'm not going to teach my hitters all swing the same way. Some guys, and a lot of times, like I try to get them through the baseball as much as I can, but from mentally, sometimes you got to tell them swing down to get them here. Right. Sometimes you got to tell them get the palm up.
Right.
They think they're lifting, but they're so steep, it's leveling them out. And it's I'm an analogy guy, but I always tell them it's almost kind of like shooting free throws at an outdoor at a windy basketball court. Sometimes you got to start it over here a little bit for it to, you gotta exercise some feel, and you can have the same swing and it can look beautiful, but you ain't hitting. Yeah. you ain't hitting.
I like that win analogy. I may use that one myself, man. Because I'm that type. That's how I am. I'm like, yo, we hitting, we talking. I'm like, if you keep popping up, then I'm like, yo, come on, hit the ground ball. And then I'm like, now we got to get somewhere in the middle. That's your swing. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's not
even it out.
Yeah, I love it.
Out. Sometimes the best line drives, like when you're doing, I'm a tee guy to warm up. I'm not a tee guy to teach, because to me, hitting's timing.
Right.
And off the tee, that's more swing mechanics and more physicality. But off the tee, I will literally tell them, try to hit the ball on the ground, and they'll low backspin ground or line drives to the middle. And I'll kind of like tease. I'll be like, hey, what I say, and they keep doing it. I'm like, they feel like they're doing this, but they're on plane. And and that's why you got to be 18 different hitting coaches for 18 different hitters. You got to use different terminology.
And I think and that sucks. I mean, college, you guys probably, you get your guys a lot more, but some of these high school coaches, I feel, I think they kill kids because they go watch a Josh Donaldson video about lifting the ball in the air and think that, everybody in their roster, even though the small little second baseman who could barely hit the ball out of the infield, he's going to swing like Josh Donaldson and get the ball in the air. And I'm like, just because, one, he may not have all the coaches, but I'm like that one size fits all approach. It doesn't work, man. And I hate, and I think they go to a seminar or, and listen to somebody speak and think that that's gospel. And everybody kind of got a different approach, man.
And I'm not here to discredit any of those swing coaches out there, because you know what? the parents and the players, the parents and the players they're not making anybody come to them. They're choosing to go there, and if you're going to spend your money there, you've got to buy into it. What I don't like is the one size fits all. This is the only way to hit. Look at Babe Ruth. Look, and it's just like, come on. Like, if there are certain things that they do, that's fine.
Right.
But there are some coaches out there that say this is the only way to hit, and I disagree with that. And I respect their ways of making money and teaching what they're passionate about. But I don't like all these Twitter wars where it's like, well, you don't know what you're talking about, and you don't know what you're talking. And it's like, I mean, we're here to give back to the game.
Right.
We're not here to prove who's right and who's wrong, because ultimately you can teach the kid the right way and he can go out there and not do it. You could teach the kid to go in there and hit with his hands crossed, and if he hits, it works.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's what people don't understand is at the end of the day, it's all about kids getting to perform. You know, if you can get them to perform, it's all that matters. You can be teaching them the right swing, but if they aren't performing, then you see a lot of those coaches go, well, you're just not good enough. It's like, well, come on.
Right.
Their check was good enough.
And that's why I said my main thing is, you know, what I've learned over the years, man, because you and I both know I would never teach, you know, somebody to hit like Ichiro or even like a George Brad or something like, you know what I'm saying, guys that were just world-class hitters. I wouldn't teach those guys, anybody to hit like that, but they had the confidence in their stroke. This is what they developed. That was their style. You know what I mean? Some of the guys like Adrian Gonzalez, sweetest swing to me ever, you know what I'm saying, lefty-wise. But I ain't going to be able to swing like him, you know what I'm saying? And I sure as I ain't going to be able to teach you how to swing like that. So let's just work, you know, get what you work with, man. But I know Devin says, excuse me, does he believe small ball will ever return to the MLB?
I think everything's going to come full circle, to be perfectly honest with you. I think when it comes down to it, these guys are going to be paid to win championships at the end of the year. And obviously their bonuses are going to be higher. So I think you'll start to see it. I think baseball has evolved so much. I mean, let's face it, 20 years ago, we were always taught to what? Throw the ball down.
Yeah.
And now what? It's elevating.
Yeah.
The game changes. I think it will evolve. I think GMs are going to look at possibly even changing their I can see in the next 15 years the stadiums changing again. I could see the dimensions. I mean, if you can put basically a ghost runner at second base in extra innings, you can do anything. I mean, they might have these poor guys pitching from 65 feet before long. But unfortunately, I think right now, in order to win games, small ball is something that is just kind of gone to the wayside. You know, I've got buddies that are in affiliated baseball, and you know, with the rumors of the automatic strike zone possibly coming in, I think that as a catcher, that hurts me because I feel like you're going to see basically DHs just throw on gear and just sit back there on one knee because they're not stealing bases as much anymore. And you got I feel like the catching position has evolved almost as much. They've had to evolve because of pitching. Major league catchers right now are absolute magicians. I love watching them. I could sit there and watch them all day and watch what they do. I love it. But you're going to take away that skill, that I'll say it, that art that they've made back there, and basically just put, you know, nothing against. He's a Hall of Famer, but Mike Piazza, you're going to see a lot more Mike Piazzas behind the plate. And he was an amazing player, but from where he is, when you look at guys like what Yachty can do behind the plate for their pitcher, it's completely different. But you're going to start seeing more guys like that.
I didn't think about that, but you're absolutely correct. Yeah, I didn't think about that. My boy Lawrence says dudes are going to start bunting and going the other way to make these teams start shifting. Small ball needs to return. Yeah, I mean, I heard they talking about getting rid of the shift, right? That's what I heard before they make the hitters make the adjustment. They're going to make the defense, you know what I'm saying, make the adjustment, you know, for them. You know, that's what I was told. I don't know, you know, how true that is, but
I mean, are you going to tell pitchers they can't throw certain pitches then?
Right.
You know, let the game play. You know,
Right.
let the kids play a little bit. You know, I mean, are you going to say you can't throw any fastball over 98 is a ball? You know, if they can evolve and they can throw 107, do it. Hitters, we got to find a way of catching up, and it might be bunting and small ball and things like that to get some runs across. But I get it; they're not going to make their millions for leading the league in sack bunts. You know, if they have 60 hits on the year and 40 of them leave the yard, they're going to make big salaries. So,
Facts.
I don't blame them. That's what the game is created.
Man, good deal, man. So, Southwest Illinois mainly known for hitting or pitching.
This is my first year here.
Which been, I'm gonna put it like you, because usually the coach is the face of the you know what I'm saying. So what's your, you more of a, because you're catch, so you got both sides. You're a hitting guy, but you're also the catching guy. You know what I'm saying? So the catchers, you guys can all do the hit, do the hitting, but you guys might mainly become pitching guys. You know what I'm saying? So what are you guys known for?
I would say this year we were known. I feel like boy, that's tough. This year, I would say in the past, a lot of the teams that I've had the fortune to coach, we've had really good pitching staffs. And when I was at Parkland, we led the country in strikeouts, and it overshadowed our offense. Our offense was good. Our offense was very good, but our pitching for those years were dominant, and that's what we need to try. Pitching and defense wins championships. So I would say in the past, those would be the teams that I had the most success with, and that's what we're going to try to build here. Guys with great approaches that grind out at bats. I want to be, over 9 innings. I want to be the hardest 27 outs that those pitchers have to get. We're going to grind out at bats. We're going to lock down the defense, and we're going to fill up the zone. I mean, that's my wish. So hopefully that's where we'll get.
Let me ask you this, man. So, I'm gonna, start wrapping this up, man. I love the talk, man. But camps, anything, you know what I'm saying? You got anything going on this summer, man? Since I can tell, tell anybody.
We've got a showcase in St. Louis. You can find it on JUCO route in August. I believe it's August. I think it's the second or third week of August over at GCS. There's going to be a lot of junior colleges there. It'll be a great event. If guys want, I know most of the junior colleges in our region and over in Missouri are going to be there. So, they really push, the kids that are interested in junior college to come out. And, that right now that's our only one. So
it's in August in St. Louis.
Yep.
What is it called again, my man?
You can find it on JUCO route on Twitter.
Okay.
And it is, I believe, I'll tell you here in 1 second because I don't want to say the wrong date. I believe it's on Sunday the 22nd at GCS Ballpark in Sauget, Illinois.
Now, who are the type that need to come? Is it still? I mean, it's too late for uncommitted 21s. No,
I mean, I would say it's uncommitted 22s. And 23s that want to start getting on radars. But, I mean, there's going to be some schools there that might offer them right then and there. You never know. You got to find – somebody might fall in love with one of these players. I might be one of them. I'm a little bit – I'm going to slow play a little bit because of where we are with our freshman class this year. Right. However, some guys are going to come in and know what they need. And, there's great junior college – there's great junior college programs all throughout the Midwest. So, if the players, find a place that they're comfortable at and find a coach they're comfortable with, pull the trigger.
I'm going to put that in there at JUCO route on Twitter. I didn't put the date, but that's on them. They can go find the date. But I know you said it. That look about right, Coach?
Yep.
Right. So, yeah, they are. That sounds like a great event. I'm learning myself, man. I haven't heard of that before, man. So definitely, anybody that's interested in JUCOs, which I highly promote those JUCOs, man. I think it's a great way. I can't even say you get playing time right away, but you're gonna have to compete. You heard my boy say 2 at each position, man. So you're gonna have to come in and compete, man. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the 1,800 transfers and D1s and stuff. How do you deal with the transfer portals, man? Do you pick up, obviously you do because you got Jalen, So
yeah, the junior college or the Division I or 4-year transfers, NAI, Division I, 2, I like those guys. We've always done well with those guys because the way I look at it, I always like those guys. They're a little bit more seasoned, and I've tried to be able to pinpoint why they're coming here. Were they a Division I kickback, or could they not cut it? Are they a guy that needs to hit the restart button or develop a skill that was not good enough at that level? And what I like is when those guys make the choice to kind of bet on themselves and really utilize their time here. Because what I tell them, a guy that comes here for 2 years, you're here less than a cell phone contract. Cell phone contract is 24 months. You're here for 20 months. And the way I look at it, you've got to use every single one of those days if you want to maximize where you want to go. And that's not a cliche, because I've seen guys do it. But the guys who, just couldn't cut it at the next level and think they're going to come here, it just never works. But the portal is it's like shopping on Amazon sometimes, but you got to do your research, because there's a reason why kids leave, good, bad, and different. And, I'm always about giving guys second chances if it didn't work out for whatever reason. But ultimately, I want guys that want to invest and have respect in their own career to do the best that they can to make the most out of it.
I mean, why I like JUCOs, or you could do this in ball, but I look at it like a kid like Jalen, comes down there, plays well at a JUCO, and plays himself to potentially become a draft pick. So you may not even be nobody's radar right now, but you may go to Coach Garcia's school and ball out his first year. Now you are essentially telling yourself that I can potentially be a draft pick and get drafted instead of waiting 2 or 3 more years. You know what I'm saying? After having that one good year, you can capitalize off of that, man. And that's, I'm a pro guy, so I want every kid to go get the degrees. No power, more power to you. But to me, I was like, listen, what how quickly can I, try to fulfill my dream, man? That's why I love the JUCO route, man. So I'm gonna take this in here. Daniel said, why take the shift away from MLB if you are a team player? Can't make the adjustment to go the other way. I shake my head to those hitters. You're not that great of a hitter unless you're really killing the 300th or better. Yeah.
There's very few of those. There's very few of the 300 hitters, and I love watching guys beat. I love watching guys bunt against the shift and go the other way against the shift. But let's face it. I mean, I think as a hitter, some of these pitchers have such great plans, and their stuff is so good. Right. They're countering that. They're not daring you to go out there. They're trying to pitch for you to hit into the shift. And the only way to do it, I guess, is lay down a bunt. And like I said, you ain't going to make your money by laying bunts down. But, it's a double-edged sword. You're probably going to win more games if you institute more small ball. But,
we just sit here and talk about, having a great approach to hitting and wanting to drive the ball. But if you're trying to shoot the ball the opposite way, and trust me, I understand it looks easy to the naked eye, and most guys thinking, but nah, when you have a power sinker guy, and he's diving that thing in there, and as a hitter, I was a lefty. I used to try my best to shoot it the other way. I still would roll over on that damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's easier said than done, and I know after a while they're trying to shoot it the other way after about 1 or 2 APs. I remember F this. I'll be like everybody else. Let me try to hit through this damn shift. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So. And honestly, they see the best way of hitting through the shift, hitting over the shift. And that's where you get the guys just trying to lift the ball. And I don't fault them. And everybody that criticizes them, it's like, grab a bat and try to do it.
Exactly. Off of 90, off of 98. You know what I'm saying? So
it looks easy on your TV. You have no idea how hard it is.
Right. Well, listen, man. Coach, man, I'll have all my guests. I appreciate that time, man, and I know you're busy, man, and I thank the rain, man. But, I always have my guests come and give a great message. So think of the message. So I'll be on tomorrow. I will confirm. I'm trying to have Stella and Quincy McGraw from Dallas to come on and share their recruiting story, being part of the my program and signing with Rust. Little Rock, I would be out there on Tuesday, all right, with a showcase. And thank you to everybody that came on the Zoom last night. We had a great turnout. I know we had a little time discrepancy. My central times, guys came on at 9 o'clock when it was supposed to be at 8 o'clock, on Eastern Coast time. But I will be, if you signed up for the Zoom call last night, I will be tomorrow. I will ship that information out to you so you get that, the class that we took last night. So for the people that was on it, I appreciate you being on there and on time. So anyway, we're going to do more, potentially more like that, man. Holler at me if you need any type of recruiting help or anything like that, man. So Coach, if you could, man, I have all my guests, man, time out. First of all, Coach, Twitter, email, anything for any of my listeners, man. When can we, if somebody wants to show, say, hey, Coach, man, I'm interested in your school, man, take a look at my video, man. What's the best way to reach out? Via Twitter or is it email or what, man?
Twitter. My personal Twitter is Coach Garcia 22, and then Blue Storm BSB, the school baseball Twitter. If you message me on either one of those, we're always looking for good players and always looking at giving guys opportunities, and that's the best way I can do as far as reaching guys outside of our region. But yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I love talking baseball. I'll talk baseball with anybody any day.
All right, there you go. All right, here's his Twitter over there, Coach. And if you have a message, man, for the families listening, man, it could be about anything, man. Take us on out, man.
Biggest thing I would say in the game right now is kids just need to play more. My message is I work with kids all the time, and I give lessons, and financially those parents are helping a lot of us out. But I'm telling you, you can save a lot of money. Go out and get those kids throwing, because I feel like a lot of the arm injuries and a lot of the issues we're having, kids just don't play the game enough anywhere in the country. Go out and play, and just play until you can't play no more. And that's the best piece of advice that I could give. And kids at ages 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, throw the baseball every day, and you'll be good at it.
There you go, man. I'm gonna leave that there, man. Great message. This is this is why I do what I do, man. Get to share, and thank you to Jalen and Sharice, for putting me in contact with, Coach Garcia, man. That's the beauty of what we do. Give great information out there. People who come back, and coaches like Coach Garcia comes on and shares his knowledge in school, man. And it's a blessing, man. So I appreciate it, brother, man. I definitely be in contact in the near future, man. And good luck to your program. Good luck to you guys, moving forward, man. And parents, 4 p.m. Eastern, will be on tomorrow, making this thing happen, man, with Stella and Quincy. All right, so, good talking hitting, man. It's been a while. I always talk recruiting, man. We ain't talking hitting in a while, man. So it's good to talk hitting, man. I like you. I could do that all day. I'm like, you making me think like, damn, I ain't talk hitting enough. I've been talking but I love it, man. So, yeah, I appreciate it, man. I got to bring you back on, man, to talk some more hitting, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Anytime. Great meeting you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, parents, talk to him tomorrow, man. I'll see you guys. Peace and love.